Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Shae.
I'm Landrey.
Welcome.
We're not sick this week, so
I
that's
know.
a plus. I mean, I feel horrible, but I was at a bonfire last night, so
I feel more like a normal person and less like the Black Plague today.
that's good.
Yeah.
It was actually, I think, the bubonic plague, because the Black Plague... No. Black Plague is your lungs, yeah. Black Plague was your lungs. Is it? Yeah, because Black Plague was the pneumonic plague.
Oh, yeah.
Because then the bubonic is the one where you had boils all over your body.
The
and
nastiness.
stuff. Yeah, so you didn't feel as like
Yeah.
you felt. Anyways, welcome.
We're just, what's the word I was looking for?
I don't know what today is.
I don't even know. I was going to say something clever, and I don't remember what it was.
I don't know
I
either.
don't know. We're just full of good information. That's what I was going to say. Something along those lines.
We're smart as hell. Okay. Do you have any like precursor, anything fun or spooky other than the fact that whenever I was coming in here to set up and Shae wasn't in here yet, I thought I heard her husband talking and he
definitely was inside my house.
I like thought they were joking with me because I do have a fear when I walk in here by myself, and like this is Shae's like old house that we record in, and she turns off the electricity every time we leave and turns it on either when we're walking in or whatever. And so since it's been cold outside, she's been turning it on before we get here. And so I'm always scared you're going to be like hiding and scare me anyways. Like I'm just always like I kept looking at the closet, like, is she going to jump out? But then thankfully it's motion censored. So if you did, I'd see the light turn on anyway.
Yes.
What if the light turned on right now? Whew. Anyways, whew. Don't think about those things today. We're not doing that today. But then it was like I was setting my backpack down and I just thought I heard a man's voice, but I didn't like hear words. I just heard like the muffle of a man, you know? And so I was like, and I stopped and looked at the door and I was like, well, it's locked. They're not sitting on the balcony trying to scare me. And then I was like, well, they're not under it either because I drove around the whole house when I was pulling in. So that was fun, but
yeah, that's so weird. I don't know what that's about.
no. And like my, this week I've already been on edge anyways, just because of last week, the cabinet closing and then the research I've been doing for this episode has just had me like
Getting a little dark.
I've been sleeping with my closet light on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And my bathroom door cracked, you know, so like it's not super bright in my room, but yeah, I've definitely been sleeping with like a light on.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, I'm excited to hear about what we're going to learn about this week.
It's nothing like too spooky. It's as spooky as you want it to be, you know?
I want it to be real spooky.
Is there anything you're like very scared of? Like, is there anything that inherently you're like, ooh, I try and avoid that? Like walking into a room when it's dark. Like, is there anything like that just like freaks you out?
Not really.
Like looking down a dark hallway?
Not when I'm like thinking about it. Stairs freak me out. Like going upstairs and it's dark or going downstairs when it's dark.
Yes, I do there's stairs in this story as well.
Good.
And they're in the dark. But you just throw another aspect into there. Maybe like a mirror.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah.
Do mirrors scare you? Because mirrors scare the shit.
Dark, yeah, in the dark.
Me. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, and we're sitting facing a mirror.
Literally at all times.
And everything is, I've learned that after this episode, I'm like, damn, everything's reflective.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yeah.
My heart's already picking up. I'm like, I was like, or like you look in your TV, you know, and it's reflective. I'm always scared I'm going to see someone like standing by me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that typical horror movie thing where you like go into like a dark bathroom or whatever and they're like just going along with their day and then they flip on the light and then there's just a right behind you.
Yeah. You ready for that then?
I don't know.
So we're going to go like to a popular urban legend that has to do with a mirror.
Bloody Mary?
Ah.
Bloody Mary?
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, yes. I can't wait.
It's not necessarily Bloody Mary that even scares me. The lore of it's pretty freaking creepy, but just mirrors in general, I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think I've had this fear of mirrors just since I was little. And I think part of that is I remember one time, Mantha used to watch Ghost Whisperer. That's what I was telling you. I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
And so Mantha used to watch Ghost Whisperer. And I don't know if you've ever seen Ghost Whisperer, but it's just like she helps ghost cross over. So some episodes are really creepy because like I remember like one of the first episodes, this ghost keeps like just like jump scaring her over and over and over again. But she helps them cross over. That's like her goal is to figure out who the ghost is, what they need, crossover.
Yeah.
And so the Bloody Mary episode, it's these girls and they are in college and one of them had said like, oh yeah, my friend actually saw Bloody Mary like when she did it. And so we should do it. And so they were too scared to do it. They were like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. But another girl that overheard them was like, she didn't have a lot of friends and wanted to fit in. So she was like, oh, I'll do it. And so she did it. But one of the girls hadn't told all the other girls that she was going to pull a prank. And like she was going to act like Bloody Mary and like come out of the bathroom stall and like have bloody hands.
Ew.
And so the episode kind of starts with that, and then it goes into 2 of the 3 friends that pulled the prank, which the other 2 didn't know about the prank. But the 2 friends that didn't know about the prank, they like went into a coma because they saw Bloody Mary in the mirror, and it scared the shit out of them, put them in a coma.
Oh, God.
And yeah, so then it turns out that it was actually just the girl that they pranked. She died because she had a heart problem. So when she got scared, it literally scared her to death.
Oh, my God.
And so it was actually her haunting them, but she was like haunting them as Bloody Mary.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she helped that girl pass over, whatever, cross over. And then I watched the Supernatural episode of Bloody Mary as well. And she haunted every mirror. Like it wasn't like a specific room.
Yeah.
And she was attached to one mirror in whatever town it was in. She would haunt the people of that town. And it was people who had a secret, because they say like mirrors kind of hold like your deepest soul, like, cause you're looking at yourself and like, you know, all your deepest things. So then like, the mirror knows your deepest things as well.
Uh-huh.
And so the whole theory on that episode was anyone who had a secret, the girl, and they did Bloody Mary or someone around them did Bloody Mary. Like the first scene is the girls, there's like little girls are having a sleepover and they do Bloody Mary, but it kills the dad because he had a secret of killing somebody.
Ooh.
But it's like a secret of killing somebody.
Yeah.
And so like one of the girls, her ex-boyfriend like killed himself and she like blamed herself for it. And so then one of her friends was joking around, was like, I'm going to say it 3 times, and did it. And then she like started getting tormented because it was like a secret that she had held with her. But once you release that secret, then she goes away. But anyways, they ended up shattering her mirror, but that didn't kill her. They had to turn a mirror on her. And then she was like, I've killed all these people. And then she like died from that. It was weird.
Oh my God. That's wild.
Yeah. So Bloody Mary is really creepy.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever done Bloody Mary?
I have.
I feel like, did we try it together once?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't think we ever successfully did it.
I don't know if you ever did it. I think we tried to at the Meadow Drive house in the bathroom with like a candle.
I think we did.
I think so.
What were we doing?
I did it when I was drunk one night. I have it on video somewhere.
Oh my God.
I was drunk with one of my friends, and I was drunk enough to where I was like, Bloody Mary, and my voice was coming out all weird. And we turned around, and we were just using a flashlight. We turned around, and I said, boo, into the mirror. Yeah. So I don't know. I was on a different level to have thought that I was okay to do that.
It's one of those things where you like psych yourself out of, because it's like, am I psyching myself out because like she's actually in the back of your mind, you know? And it's like one of those things where it's like subconsciously you're like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Because this is what's going to happen to you. I don't know. It's just weird.
It freaks me out because I am very superstitious and like I'm very open to like anything scary. So like I've always hated mirrors. Or have you ever watched the Haunting of Hill House or the Haunting of Bly Manor?
No, I tried watching it before, but I never was able to really get into it because I was like trying to watch it on my phone, like when I was like doing stuff. So it wasn't like I was like really watching it, but I want to because I know it's scary. Yes,
there is this. I think it's Haunting of Bly Manor, and there's a certain ghost, and it shows up in reflections. But it has like they have glasses, but it's like the circle glasses, and they're orange. And so all you see is like this figure of a male and then these orange, creepy red-rimmed glasses in the reflections. And I'm always like,
I want to see that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, God. And it just turns out that I think he got like hit by a car. And so the orange is like the headlights. It was either that or like a fire or something. But either way, I was like, ooh. And while I was doing the research for all this, I'm like watching those episodes. So I'm carrying them around on my phone or I'm listening to other podcasts or like other things just to get more information. And like, cause there's so many different lore on like so many different types of lore on Bloody Mary. And so I was just trying to like get a roundabout view, and I'm in my bathroom getting ready and they're saying it over and over and over again. And I was like, should I be watching this in front of the mirror right now? Cause they just said it for me.
Yeah.
Kind of creeped me out. Or I was like watching it on the like had it on in the dash of my car, and then I'd look in my rearview mirror and I was like, ooh, not a fan.
I don't like the rearview mirror of my car at nighttime.
Oh, absolutely not. I think I've said it before, and I don't know if it made it into the cut of one of the episodes, but at Christmas, I'd gone shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had a picture of Santa Claus in my back seat, and in the rearview mirror, all I saw was like a face, and I was like, ugh, and then it was just Santa Claus, but I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That scared the heck out of me. Yeah, not a fan.
I always have to check my back seat.
Yeah, or like another thing I don't like is when people at night, in your rearview mirror, when people's like lights, like if they turn behind you, or like how they are certainly like a certain way will hit the mirror. I'm always like, it's just going to flash a face and then the face is going to be gone. Ugh. Yeah. I'm here to help you with your fear of mirrors. Do you have a mirror that faces your bed?
No, but I have I can't see my bathroom mirror from my bed, but I do have a mirror in my room, but it faces like the wall.
Okay, good.
It faces my closet door actually. So like if I look at it from my bed, I can see my closet door, but my closet door is always shut.
Yeah, good, because that would be scary as shit.
Yeah, that would be scary.
I come back to that later, but that was a question I had for you real quick.
Okay.
Because I don't either. The one mirror I have in my room, it's almost completely covered by a chair. Like, you can't even see that it's there because I have nowhere to put it in my room that doesn't face my bed. And I've known about like the whole bed theory in a mirror for a very long time. And so I've just never really... Okay, so no one really knows. Like, there's a lot of lore on how Bloody like Mary could have started. So one of the theories is that it's Mary Tudor, which I talked about her in the Edinburgh episode. Yeah. Fun fact, didn't know, or I guess never paid attention to, her dad is King Henry VIII.
Hello?
Yeah, literally. I don't know how I skipped past that forever, but I've always skipped past that. Don't know how.
That's weird.
Yes. And so in her reign, so her dad, King Henry, clearly he's married 6 times. His first wife is her mother, and they'd been married for like 23 years. They say that was like his first love. Like, he truly loved her. Yes, he had mistresses, as all people did back then. Like, that's just how it was. But he was in love with her, but she could never bear a male. And so he could never have his like heir that he needed. Mm-hmm. And so he annulled the marriage, or was trying to get the marriage annulled. And the church was like the Catholic Church was like, no, we're not going to annul your marriage.
Yeah,
like,
we don't believe in divorce.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So he started his own church. And that's where like Episcopalians, Protestants come from. And so he started like the Protestant Reformation here. And so then he actually did have a male heir, but he died at like 15, 16, eventually, out of his 6 wives.
Yeah.
So then Mary, whenever that marriage got annulled, because it did finally get annulled under his new church, Mary lost her title. And so she should not have been able to reign. But someone else, like her brother, appointed somebody else, and she went and killed that person. She was like, no, I am going to reign. Like, I don't care what you think. Mm-hmm. And so in her reign, she wanted to go back to Catholicism. And so she would get people, or like, I don't know the right terminology. It's evaded my mind right now, but basically imprison people for being Protestant. Mm-hmm. And so she killed 250 men and 60 women, burned at the stake in 5 years.
Damn!
And so her name was Bloody Mary. So there's lore behind her on that. Yes. And then there was like...
persistent.
Yeah, it's crazy is what that is. That's crazy. But on the opposite spectrum of that, there was a girl who was said to be a witch during that time. And her name was Mary Worth. And so there is certain like rituals that you say, I believe in Mary Worth or something like that. And it's the same as saying like Bloody Mary. Yeah. And so her whole thing is that she lived in a neighborhood, or not a neighborhood. She lived like out in the woods in this village, and she kind of kept to herself. She was like very into like all the trinkets and herbs and all of that. And girls in the village were like disappearing, but she was getting more youthful and more plump. And so there was like a whole theory that she was a witch and she was taking the lives of, these people,
young
whatever.
women, yeah.
And so she also became some sort of version of Bloody Mary.
Okay.
This one's weird to me. So this one is an old legend that states Queen Elizabeth of England, the first Queen Elizabeth of England, consulted a shoe stone.
Shoe stone?
Yeah, it's SHEW.
Okay.
STONE. And it's a polished crystal or a mirror-like object, and it was owned by John Dee, which was her court astrologer and advisor. So Dee was a mathematician and an alchemist and was deeply involved in the occult practices and used mirrors or crystals for scrying, which is like attempting to see the future or communicate with spirits. You use like a mirror for that. Or one of the most famous artifacts associated with John Dee is a black obsidian mirror. And although Elizabeth herself may not have used this mirror, she relied very heavily on what he said. And so some people theorize that Bloody Mary was created more as like a warning to not use mirrors to try and tamper with the spirit world. Because there's like the whole theory that mirrors are portals.
But portal, like yeah. So it's very easy for them to come through that mirror.
Yeah.
Once they've been conjured.
Yeah. And that's like, I come back to mirrors. I have a few Bloody Mary stories that I go through, and then I have a few like haunted mirror situation things. And so the ritual for Bloody Mary, it started with this whole divination practice. And it was, in the olden days when There was no electricity. It was just candles. Everyone's houses were always dark.
Yeah.
And girls would do it, and they would hold a hand mirror in one hand and a candle in the other, and they would turn all the lights off in the house or do it at nighttime, and they would walk backwards up a set of stairs holding that mirror to see the face of their future husband.
Ew.
Yes.
That whole thing is just creepy in and of itself.
Yes. And so they would either see their husband or they would see a skull, which meant that they would die before they had the opportunity to get married.
Whoa.
And so that's where they say, like, yeah, the ritual started, which absolutely
hell no.
Freaking not. Am I walking up walking up the stairs backwards? I'm falling.
Mm-hmm.
Forward.
Walking up the stairs backwards in the dark?
Absolutely not.
There's somebody up there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, thank you. Especially, I hate the stairs that you go up a stairs and then you're on a platform and then you go up the opposite, like direction. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Those I really hate because it's like very dark. You have to get to that platform and like turn around and then look up to even more darkness. No. It's like two things of dark instead of just going straight up into the dark.
Yeah.
And like a mirror, hell no.
Oh
what are you looking for? I don't need to see that, especially if there's a chance I'm going to see that I'm going to die first. I'm like, you know what? Let me just live my life and die.
Yeah. Don't let me know that I'm going to die.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's just scary. So then there's a few different ways to do the ritual. And I learned quite a few different ways.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I think I had always was taught or had seen or what I knew was like you go in the bathroom, you turn the lights off, you light a candle, and you spin in a circle. Like you say your name and you spin in a circle, and you say your name and you spin in a circle. Like you do it 3 times, and then you turn around and you just like wait.
Yeah.
Like that's what I had heard.
Yeah.
So in this whole situation that I did some research on, it ranges from like saying it 3 times to 47 times to saying it 100 times or saying it only 13.
Huh.
Some people say that you have to turn hot water on and let steam be all over the mirror.
I think I've heard that before, the hot water theory.
Some people say you just have to put water on the mirror.
Uh-huh. Interesting. I wonder what the water is for.
And not everyone includes a candle. That's not always the thing.
I feel like intentions are also a really big part of that.
Yeah, just
like
knowing
setting the intention of going into this.
Yeah, you're like, this is what I want to happen. I would not set that intention. I'd be like, oh, you want to play? Okay, I'll join in, but I am not actually setting my brain for that.
I don't believe in Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I'm not doing this today. Thank you, though. That part was different to me. I guess I didn't realize how many different like lures there were on.
I didn't either. I thought it was 3 times. You say it 3 times.
Yeah, I've never heard to say it 13 or 47 or you're going to stand in front of the mirror and say it 100 times.
No. Who's counting?
I'd lose it. I'd be like,
right.
I'm good for 5 to 10. I'm good for what I can count on.
Right.
They're like tallying it.
Yeah, on the mirror and the steam
with their blood. Yeah.
Blood sacrifice.
That's on the way here. I was listening to a different podcast and they said that one of the ways is people would pinprick their fingers and rub their fingers together while they said it.
That's too serious.
Yeah, I'm like, that's actually scary. That's actually very
that's
witchy
like witchcraft.
To me. Yeah, I'm good over here. I had a friend ask me last night. They said, do you actually like
practice
do witchcraft? I was like, no. I was totally joking when I said I was a mini witch last episode. I was being very sarcastic. And I guess people don't know me and don't know my like dry humor, but I was like, absolutely not.
I ain't fucking with that.
Yeah, I said, I think it's interesting, but.
Oh, I also think it's really cool. I have a whole Wikipedia right there.
That's actually, they asked. They said, what's actually in this? And I said, I don't know.
It's like rituals and lore and like the lore behind stones and the lore behind certain herbs and what each thing is for.
I wonder if they have mirrors in this.
Oh, I wonder.
We're going to research. We'll come back to that. Hell yeah. So then, like, what would you imagine to see in the mirror if you did Bloody Mary?
A Victorian era woman in a white dress with ruffles and blood all over her.
Okay.
With a bun on the top of her head.
With a bun on the top of her head. So there's a bunch of different theories on what she'd actually look like. A bunch of people say like she looked like this, same thing, like long dark hair. Yeah. White gown. But there's some people who say you can actually see her face. There's some people who say it's more like The Ring where you can't see her face. There's some people that say that, she's got blood here versus here, or there's just a bunch of different stories on that. They also say that she will either foretell your death or your misfortune, or she screams at you and cusses at you, or the only way that she can affect you is if you actually turn away from the mirror and look at her. What? So like if you are looking at the mirror and you see her, as long as you don't turn around to look at her, then she can't harm you. But if you turn around and look at her, then she can bring you harm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I never actually thought about that. What does she do whenever she comes out?
Yeah. You're like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Like, what's it like? Why? Why are we doing it? You know?
Yeah. And there's a bunch of theories that she like breaks the mirrors or cracks the mirrors and I'm like, I've never heard any of that. I don't think I ever heard like the true outcome of, you know, when we would play it as a kid, I'm like, I think you were just supposed to see her behind you and be like, turn the lights on. And, and be done.
Yeah.
So not really sure about all that, you know. How you said Victorian era. So I actually forgot to mention this earlier whenever I was talking about the Ghost Whisperer episode. But the origins of Bloody Mary in that episode is what I've always imagined. And so they actually showed the real story of Bloody Mary as well. And she was this girl, and she was super sick. And so her dad was a doctor, and her dad was like, oh, she just died. It's not like we got to bury her. And so they used to bury people back in the day with like string and a bell attached to their wrist. And so if they were still alive, because they would, I guess, misbury people all the time.
Yes.
And so if they were still alive, they would ring the bell and people would unbury you. And like, that's why there was like grave watchers were for grave robbers. Like they watched to make sure people wouldn't steal, but also to listen for a bell.
Yeah.
And go to the bell.
Yeah.
And so in that episode, the girl had been alive. And so she yanked on the bell and no one was hearing her. So she started trying to scratch her way out of her coffin.
Yes.
And scratched all of her nails off to where it was just nubs. So that's how she became bloody, is because it was just blood all over the top of her coffin and like all over her hands. And since you're laying down, it was like all over her face and stuff. And so that's always what I have imagined, because I don't really know how much I knew about Bloody Mary until that episode. And I watched that when I was really little, because it started when we were pretty young.
It's an older show, yeah.
Because it was whenever, like, I remember I think I'd stayed home from school sick or something, and Mantha was doing laundry, and I was laying in their bed, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like, that's scary as hell. And so that's what I imagine. I imagine, like, white dress, long black ratty hair, and just, like, blood from her hands.
Yeah. How did we, as kids, you know, like, who's the one who's like, have you ever heard of Bloody Mary?
That's literally one of the other podcasts.
Where are we learning that from?
Yeah, one of the
How do we know about that?
That's one of the other podcasts I listened to. She asked her sister, it's Ghosties. She asked her sister the same thing. She said, how did we, like, no phones, you know, we didn't have that. And the other sister answered, she was like, oh, I guess just like older siblings telling you. But I'm like, I don't think our older siblings told us that. But I guess older siblings at school told another sister or sibling, and then your friends. And then like I could see whenever you used to hang out with Morgan, I could see her sister telling her and then Morgan telling you or something like that. But I mean, that was I think we did Bloody Mary before you even really hung out with her. But I could see where it's like her older sister would have said something like that and just like passed it that way.
That's true.
But still. Yeah. Or I wonder, do you remember those Don't Be Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if it was there any, I remember the girl with the red scarf. That's the main thing I remember out of that. But
yeah, those were freaky.
But that's why I'm like, maybe Bloody Mary was in there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm sure there was a virgin.
A virgin? Hell yeah, there is.
I'm sure there was a version of that in one of those books.
Probably. Do you remember the red scarf one?
I remember
where she took her scarf off, her head fell off.
Oh, yes. Yes. Now that you say it like that, yes,
those
I do.
Books scared the
I remember like
crap out of me.
the troll, like fat, creepy one with like the...
Yeah.
I don't remember what the story was, but that's what I remember.
Yeah, that's the one story I do remember is but I think the red scarf is a very popular story that a bunch of people recall. I think it's stuck with us all.
Oh, so weird.
Yes. So now for a few of the tales. There's a few people who have played the game and lived to tell their tale.
Ooh.
I know. So there was this group of 4 girls, and they were having a sleepover, and they decided to play a little silly game of Bloody Mary, which I don't remember playing as a kid. Like, I didn't remember that when I was writing this. So I'm like, wow, I was really surprised. I was never really convinced as a kid. I was convinced in college. That's when I played it. I played it in college. Yeah. But aside from, I think we tried. I don't know if we actually successfully like got past the candle and the mirror.
Yeah, I
think we turned the light off and the candle and the mirror, and we were like, no. Because I think it was one of those big white candles.
I want to say that we got like, I think we said it once or twice.
Didn't get
and then we freaked each other out, and one of us turned on the light. And so we were like, well, now it's ruined. And I feel like I remember us turning on the water too.
I don't know.
I truly do. In the Meadow Drive house.
Yeah. I do remember. I think it was in front of that
because
house. Like
that bathroom, the way that it was set up, so there was the door to go in, and then there was another door in between the vanities and the sink and the mirror and the bathtub and the shower and the toilet. So you could shut 2 doors. You could literally just shut yourself in with the mirror.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
I actually round back.
And it was big. It was a big mirror.
I'm happy that you even mentioned that house because I round back to that house at the end of all of this.
Okay. Hey, I'm scared.
Anyway, so these 4 girls, they went to the bathroom, lit a candle, turned the lights off. They joined hands and started saying it. Once they were done saying her name, they started to feel like relief because they were like, oh, nothing happened. Like, we're good. We're safe. And then all of a sudden they see the mirror start to like ripple a little bit. And they see this girl, long black hair, but she's soaking wet. But you can still see that there's like blood on her. And in fear, one of the girls is like, oh, hell no. And is about to turn the light on. But as soon as she goes to turn the light on, the candle goes out. She still proceeds to turn the light on. And there's nothing there. But there's a crack down the mirror. Mm-hmm. And you can see like a handprint. Mm-hmm. And they were like, absolutely not. We're done with this bathroom. That was too much. We're done here. So they go to bed that night. They wake up the next day. And like individually, they all have to go like to the bathroom throughout the day. And one of them, when they woke up in the morning, they went in there and they're like, can y'all come look at this? And the crack was no longer there. You could not see a handprint. And so then they said after that, like, they were like, oh, okay, so maybe it was just like we all kind of like figment of our imagination. We were playing with each other too much. Like we freaked each other out too much. We had described it just too much for one another. Mm-hmm. And so like we all kind of felt like we saw it and like made it a real thing. But then every time like one of them would go to the bathroom, they'd like see something in the mirror, like as they'd pass the mirror to like go to the toilet.
Ooh, like just like out of the corner of their eye.
Which is exactly why every time I go to the bathroom, I turn my light on.
Yeah.
Or I hate it because whenever Aaron is at home, I try and be like polite that he's asleep in bed. And I don't want to go pee in the dark. I really don't. And so like I like close the bathroom door and then I'll turn the light on, or I'll close the bathroom door and then I turn the closet light on, and I avoid the mirror the whole time. I like hide my face, or I have my phone light on, but I'm always scared with my phone light also that I'm going to like, because you know it's already shining. Yes. I like set it on the counter so it's already shining up at my face weird. And I'm always like, oh shit. God, yeah. Shit.
There's going to be something right there.
Yeah.
So my whole bathroom is a mirror. My entire wall in my bathroom is a mirror. So it's really hard for me to avoid. Yeah.
That is one thing. I'm like looking at building a house right now and I'm like, minimal
mirrors.
Minimal. I don't like mirrors, dude.
You know what? Speaking of mirrors,
no.
In the haunted hotel in Las Vegas, Zach Bagans Hotel or museum, he had a haunted mirror in one of the rooms, and I can't remember who it was haunted by, and it's terrible because it's not going to be as good of a story, but they keep it covered. They have like little curtains that they keep it covered with, like most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes for some like tours, they will open it and they'll like tell you the story and the lore behind the mirror, and then they give you an option, a chance if you want to go stand in front of the mirror and just like look into it, because sometimes people have like experiences when they look in this mirror.
Yeah.
Because it's haunted by this like old guy or whatever. And I remember I went and stood in front of the mirror. But I was only able to stand there for like 30 seconds. Like I didn't want to sit and wait for anything to happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm here. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm going to do everything.
You're brave. Yeah. I would have been like, you know what? This is one I'm not going to do.
I'm like, ooh, yeah, that was creepy. Why did I do that?
Yeah. That's one I'm going to count myself out on.
Because that entire place is like
filled to the brim.
Filled with just scary shit and haunted stuff. And it's like, literally anything could probably come out of this mirror and latch onto you.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And they keep it covered there's a reason they keep it covered.
Yes, I was having to explain to Aaron after I left here last week, and I was like, "Dude, the cabinet closed." He's like, "Well, didn't they build that house?" And I was like, "Yeah, that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter where you are, because Murphy and Eugene built a house behind QT in that neighborhood, and that house always gave me weird vibes. Like, I didn't really like the house. Like, Ella was 2 years old, and I was 20, 18, I don't know, 17, 18, because Ella was born when I was 15. Anyways, I would make Ella sleep on the outside of the bed. I'd be like, yeah, you're 2 and 3 years old and you can fight off whatever.
Nothing. You can stay there.
I'd sleep between her and the wall. I was like, hell no. And then Murphy only confirmed my fears whenever one day she said that Ella was talking about Jack, and Murphy was like, who's Jack? And like no one in her class was named Jack. And Murphy was like, well, who's that? And Ella was like, oh, well, I'm just playing with him in my room. And Murphy was like, okay, well, do you want to show me where he's at? And instead of like, she went to the corner of the room, but instead of like touching the wall and being, oh, he's right here, she like was away from the wall. Like, he's right here. Like you would if an actual person was standing there, you touch their shoulder and not the wall. And Murphy said, okay. And I was like, yeah, see, they built that house, but the land, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And I want my whole entire house to be filled with antiques. And I'm like, but I'm terrified.
Yeah, because the shit be latched to that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I bought a vanity for my wedding, and it's been in Landon's room. And it always gave me like the ick. Like it kind of freaked me out. I really only bought it for my wedding. That was the only thing I bought it for, but we just haven't taken it to like Goodwill or gotten rid of it again. And it always weirded me out. I had it like in our kitchen area, and that was just too close to my bedroom. I just didn't like it. Like I did not like it. And so I moved it in the guest bedroom. And then one day I asked Landon, I was like, do you want to get rid of that? And he was like, yeah, it really kind of creeps me out. And I was like, ugh. So we're both feeling something on this.
Yeah. Let's get rid of that.
Yeah. So the mirror, for whatever reason, is still in his room. I'm like, you're an idiot. That's the part that's scary.
That's the worst part.
That's the part that's scary. And then the vanity's on our back porch until we take it to Goodwill. But
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But that's,
Also, by the way, we have the cabinet door open again today.
Yeah, and you know what's really creepy about it? Like last week, we didn't get to describe it to you because we were like, absolutely not, and we just bailed out. We literally shut the podcast down within 4 minutes and we're like, bye.
Yep, gotta go.
Where it's at, the AC and heater in this is an HVAC system, and so it is over here, and it is in the ceiling, and it is not turned on.
Nope.
And the cabinet is over there. No breeze. Windows are closed. There's a chair to where like nothing, like we don't have dogs in here. We don't have cats in here. And my mom was like, well, why was the cabinet open in the first place? It's where we keep all our equipment. And so we keep all our equipment in there, and then we open it, we take our equipment out, we set up, we record. And like, if y'all watched that far, last time it happened like an hour into us recording. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, it could have closed, but an hour later,
yeah,
just on a chance, on a dime. No. And so that's what I had to, and that's what I described to Aaron. Like we have a space heater over here, but like
facing
there's no, it's facing us directly. There's no flow of air over there.
0% chance.
Yeah. And so that's what I was like, we didn't really get to describe that to y'all. And add that into, because Ella was like, oh my gosh, and do you remember that day that you said, yeah, and then something between you and Shae said, yeah. And I was like, oh, I know. I know. You don't have to remind me of anything.
Ooh. Yeah. What is going on in here?
I don't know. We definitely need to figure out like a little something to say to protect ourselves before we get too creeped out.
And sage this place. Yeah. I literally have sage in here.
Light it up, girl.
Courtesy of Echo. So this sage has good intentions in it. Okay.
Okay. So Ella said, just tell the ghost that you want to be friends. Be nice to it. Like don't like, she said, don't be too scared of it. Just be like, hey, yeah, like we're cool. You're cool. We're here. Like, look.
Okay. Ella coming in with the logic.
And I was like, well, you're clearly never scared. Because when I'm scared, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to leave. Mm-hmm. I just get quiet. I shut down.
And I do the opposite.
Yeah. You were like, that was so embarrassing. And I'm like, well, I reacted, but I react like I freeze. Or I choose to ignore it. I'm like, okay, well.
I'm a runner.
I just sit there. I'm like, damn, that was really scary.
Anyway.
Yeah. So.
Back to Bloody Mary.
Yeah. The next story I found doesn't follow like the usual Bloody Mary path. So I found it just pretty interesting.
Okay.
So this one, it's a group of girls. They're at school. They're like, hey, you know what? We should play Bloody Mary. That seems to be a theme. They're like, we're at school. We're bored. Let's go to the bathroom and play Bloody Mary. So they go, and one of them is like, I just don't believe in this. Like, I don't care. I'll play because I just don't believe in it. Like you said earlier, your intention. She's like, I don't believe in it. So, well, yeah, sure, whatever. They start playing. Nothing happens. And she's like, see, I told y'all. This isn't real. It's fine. They leave the bathroom, go on about their day. She walks home from school, and when she gets home on the front porch, there's this little black book, and she opens it, and it's this old, like, looks like an acrylic, some sort of painted picture of a girl in like an old gown, like they would wear to like balls or like almost like an old like court dress for like a queen or like a woman in waiting. And then on like she flipped the page because she's like, what is this? Flips the page, and on the back of that page, it said in red writing, these are all the people I killed. Killed.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, it's me again. Killed. And so she like tries to flip to find these names and can't find anything else. And she's like, well, that's really strange.
What the hell?
Yeah. So she goes to school the next day and she's like, guys, look at this little black book I found. And so they all kind of look at it and they're like, I don't know, that's freaking weird. And then they all go about their day. Like, it's like, oh, this is weird, but like, whatever. We played a weird game. Like, who cares, you know? And so then that night, according to all of these girls, they all woke up at 3 a.m. to a girl in their room that was headless and just bloody.
Ooh.
And so that was like what happened with their Bloody Mary.
That made me nauseous a little bit.
Yeah. My thoughts on that is that it was like all the people I've killed. What the hell, Landrey? All the people that they've killed, I think it is Queen Mary.
Oh, yes.
I think it was a picture of her because you've never seen the pictures of her, but I have. And it's that old acrylic, like I'll show it to you later, but it's like the old acrylic type painting of like the old kings and queens, how they all look weird, but they all look the exact same, you know?
Yes.
And that's what I imagine was in that little thing. And I imagine it was her saying, these are all the people I killed. And then it's a headless person because she just killed everybody.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. She beheaded, actually.
Okay, there we go.
She beheaded according to history that, you never know. I'm like, neither here nor there, but it's the one that was going to take her title.
Oh,
that her brother appointed. Beheaded. That's who she beheaded.
Ooh, interesting.
If I saw a headless...
And all of them saw it?
Like all the people who had played. Like it went for the skeptic first and was like, guess what?
Surprise, bitch!
Yeah, and then they all got it. But I thought it was interesting because they all played Bloody Mary and like something scary happened. And I'm like, okay, so was it actually like, you know, like a bloody, like, is it actually some sort of version of Bloody Mary? Or is it a different ghost that saw your weakness and was like, I'm coming for y'all? Because y'all all set an intention to see something.
Yeah. Hello.
It was the same thing as like a Ouija board. You set your intentions to talk to somebody and you want to, normally people do a Ouija board to like try and talk to a friend or a family member, like someone that they miss. And then
somebody else is like,
yeah, hello. So I'm wondering if it's that same sort of concept of like something else came out of the mirror. Yeah. So after this, I have a little bit of a portion on haunted mirrors because if you're going to talk about Bloody Mary, I didn't really do a whole lot of Bloody Mary stories because there's just so many and they all kind of round out the same.
Yeah, but I mean, just hearing about the Bloody Mary, like lore, the background of it and stuff is like stuff that I really didn't know because it was just one of those things that you just are like, oh, this is a game that you play and it's supposed to scare you and this is what you do. And
yeah, and most of those stories I read are the same thing. That's why I didn't want to have 12 of the same ones. They play, they see something really scary in the mirror, and they kind of just are like, well,
whatever.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then, but like nothing normally happens outside of that. So that last story, I was like, that's weird that it happened outside of that space.
Yeah. It's not like you just see this person and it's like, boo. Yeah. It's like
like prolonged.
A little bit of a continuation of the... Yeah, that makes it even scarier.
A slow build.
Yeah.
A slow burn. Love me a good romance book.
Me doesn't even read. All right, just freak me out about mirrors, I guess.
You should already be freaked out.
I am.
And like in the shows where I watch the Bloody Mary stuff, it's not even just the mirror, it's any reflective surface. She would show up like in the metal door handles. She showed up like on the reflective, like the trash cans that are stainless steel. So like she would show up on your fridge. My fridge is stainless steel. So is
mine.
Or like your TV, anything.
Cool. Love that.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just adding into the, you're like, I don't have that many mirrors. And I'm like, joke's on you. There's a lot of reflective surfaces everywhere. So I literally have my first sentence is the lore surrounding haunted mirrors is scary as fuck to me. Scary as fuck to me in all caps. Look, you can see right there. And I said F-U-U-U-U-U-U-Q. Q. So hell yeah, brother, on that. So there's a few different ideas on mirrors and what they stand for. And we've kind of already talked about like how they're portals to different dimensions or different worlds. And then there's another theory, and it's kind of rooted in Native American folklore. And it states that if you look into the mirror for too long, the mirror can take your soul. Huh. Like if you just...
stare.
Yes. Somehow. I don't really know the science behind that, but the mirror will take your soul. Which like for whatever reason, that's the one that reminds me of like, have you ever seen the shows or the commercials or anything like that? It's normally scary movies where someone's looking at themselves in the mirror and then like they look down and that face keeps looking at them.
Still looking at you.
You're looking at yourself and then you start to smile and your eyes get dark.
I just watched the episode of The Vampire Diaries where Rick is like possessed and he's in the CAT scan machine and he's looking at himself in the mirror. And he's like starting to get uncomfortable, and then the mirror is like smiling back at him. Ugh! Yeah.
What would you do? I don't even like looking at myself in the mirror, especially that's where I'm like in the nighttime in the bathroom. I'm like,
yeah,
no.
Well, I wonder if like the Native American thing, like staring at it for long enough, it'll take your soul. I wonder if that has anything to do with like vanity, you know?
Yeah.
Like being vain.
Yeah. And I think it also runs back to the theory of you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you know your deepest, darkest secrets. So I think it's the other version of you that knows just your deepest, darkest secrets. So you're like, it takes that, you know? I think that's where they kind of played off of it.
Also, another creepy thing about mirrors, two-way fucking mirrors, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're like in a hotel or a restaurant or something.
Yeah, and they say to like put your finger on it to make sure.
Yeah, that freaks me out. And that's like a human thing.
Yeah, that's
not even a paranormal thing.
We started it. Yeah, I don't like those either. And I stay at hotels, like in hotels quite a bit for like work and travel and stuff like that. And every time I'm in a hotel, I'm like, well, not walking around naked.
So either the mirror is a creeper murderer on the other side, or a ghost is going to come and take your soul and kill you. So
no fair game
throw
here.
all of your mirrors away.
Yeah, cover them all up. Okay, so on top of the soul sucking mirror thing, back in Victorian times, when someone would die, they would cover the mirrors because they were like, oh, if they die and their soul gets a glimpse of themselves in the mirror, then their soul is going to be stuck in that mirror.
Okay.
And then that rounded me back to, do you remember like learning in Victorian times where they would like, that's where like starting to take pictures, they would take pictures with like the dead bodies and stuff like that. Like they would set up the corpse. Have you ever seen any of those?
I've never actually seen any, but I have heard that before.
Yeah, they would like set up the corpse, and like it used to be the funerals would go on for like days, and the body would just stay in the house, and people would come view it, and like they would do their funerals in the house.
Like in Lizzie Borden.
Yes. And the podcast I was listening to on the way here, I learned something new that I think I should share with y'all. Is the girl on that podcast? I honestly have never listened to this podcast before, so I can't even remember what the name of it was. I literally just looked up Bloody Mary and was trying to like take in as much information as I could. And she said that there's like a recess, like if you go into Victorian homes, like the recesses in the stairs, it's to be able to get the coffins downstairs. That's the whole reason the stairs were built that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? People... Why are we fucking with dead bodies, bro? They're dead. Put them in the morgue. Put them in the ground.
Well, there wasn't like morgues back then.
Don't let them sit in your house for days. That's...
I remember I read a really creepy story, and it was like this mom was mourning that her son had died, and she just kept his body forever and like locked herself in the house with him. Yeah.
No, we need to not be doing that. We need to not be doing that. That should have never been a thing. Good God. Thank God for morgues.
Yeah. So you asked earlier, what is the connection to water and mirrors?
Yeah.
And I was reading a lot about feng shui, and mirrors resemble water and water resemble mirrors in feng shui.
Okay.
So they are like known as the same concept of like an energy conductor. So it goes back to that whole residual energy situation between water and stone and like a mirror. And so there's the whole concept that a mirror will hold residual energy. So say like something dark happens in that house, or the spirit of the dead person gets stuck in the mirror, or your husband killed you in front of the mirror and you end up in that mirror because of some tragic event, like residual energy. So there's that kind of connection. You asked earlier about water.
There you go, hand in hand.
And so that could be part of why the lore of water
it's just another conductor.
Yeah, and steam might be involved just because it's a creepy like horror movie
aspect
thing,
but
where
steam
people
is just
ride
water.
in it.
It's vaporized water.
Yeah. So that's where those could come in. And like turning the water on could have been like a more of a a conductor of flow of energy type situation.
Yeah.
But in feng shui, mirrors are kind of used as energy. And so like this one, how you have it right here in front of us, it makes the room look bigger when you're walking, like say you're walking in that door and you look at the mirror, it makes the room look bigger.
Yeah.
And so they say, that's one of the reasons they say in feng shui is like, do not have a mirror in like your bedroom because it creates just all this energy. And like they say, like the best way to have your room be cozy is like, or your room is like, your bedroom is really supposed to be a cozy and comfortable place, not a huge, large, like expansive, because of all the energy that can be in there. And just all the energy bouncing off will like affect your sleep because of just the energy bouncing around, which I firmly believe in that.
I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
I don't enjoy that.
No. And they say not to have like a mirror at the foot of your bed for like the same concept. You're allowing all this energy. And if it is a portal, then like you're allowing a portal, like someone to stand on the other side of the mirror and watch you sleep.
Okay.
Which
that's cool.
I've known that for a long time. So I have never had a mirror that faces my bed.
In this house, our bed was here and that mirror was right there. And I would sleep on my side and I would face the mirror when I slept. And I could see the TV in the mirror. So sometimes I would just like watch the TV through the mirror.
No.
And I'm like, that probably wasn't a good idea either.
No, it just, I've okay.
It was my phone. It was just my phone that fell.
Don't do that ever again.
I'm sorry.
Because whenever I was looking over at the mirror, I was just imagining the cabinet like slamming closed instead of slowly closing this time.
Stop!
So I'm already in my head right now. So mirrors, feng shui, they create a lot of energy in your room. So they actually say in feng shui to just not have a mirror in your bedroom at all.
Oh, okay.
And then they say like if you're going to have a mirror in your house, to have it in places where you want like abundance. Like put one in your dining room that faces the table where you want an abundance of food, because it creates a double effect as well. And like you want it to be a flow of energy. So say you wanted like your closet's energy to stay in the closet, you would put a mirror in the back of your closet door and close the door so the mirror is only facing in there, so then the energy stays in there rather than having the energy like come out this way. Or like if you want energy to flow, they'll say instead of putting like a mirror at the end of your hallway, put it down your hallway so energy can flow like down the hallway as you walk into the house. Or like never have a mirror facing your like doorway, like coming into your house. If you like walked right into a mirror, don't do that, because you're pushing all the energy right back out of your house rather than welcoming like new energy, unless you're trying to like block out the energy of other people entering your home, I guess. But if you want good energy in your home, they say like to have it beside your door rather than like facing your door. Yeah.
I don't really like any of that because it makes too much sense.
Yeah. I actually think I learned this because I am a landscape architect and I work on Panda Express. I used to work on Panda Expresses, and they follow feng shui for their designs, for their landscape. Like I wasn't allowed to have white flowering plants because there was some sort of feng shui with white flowering plants. And I wasn't allowed to have anything that would block the front door, like the front door to like the entrance, or like nothing was allowed to be there because it like blocked the energy of whatever. Like
that's so random.
Yeah. And so I think I had to look up feng shui for that.
Interesting.
And so then that's where I learned the mirror in the bedroom, and I was like, hey.
Let's put that energy into the food, Panda Express.
Yeah.
Let's try again.
Yeah. Let's. But yeah, they follow feng shui. So I think that's why I looked up feng shui in the first place, was to make sure that I landscaped feng shui-ly.
Oh my God. That's wild.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And then it got me on this whole shit about where I have to put my mirror in my house.
Yeah. Oh my God.
In feng shui, they say to never have mirrors facing each other unless you want to create a portal for certain. What house did we live in?
Yeah.
And what house did I see ghosts in the most, or that I saw ghosts in the mirror?
Yes. And it had two
of those.
Two bathtubs with mirrors all the way around it.
Yeah. So clearly your bathtub is like our bathtub. Both of the bathrooms in that house are recessed into the wall, and 3 sides is a mirror. So when you look in the mirror, it's just like if I put my head in the mirror, you would see my head just
infinity.
Yes. And I thought I had seen like our family ghost in that mirror. And then it made me think like, holy shit, those are on, one was quite literally on one side of the house and was on the other. So we just had a portal on both sides of our house. And that was like one of the, not the scariest house, but that house had a lot of energy in it.
Yeah.
And that bathroom in particular, which is the one we apparently played Bloody Mary in, which I do vaguely remember it. I don't remember it full force, but I do remember like little aspects of it. That is the same bathroom where Bubba always had weird shit happen. Do you not remember that story he said? I've briefly talked about it when we did our like intro video that we never put out. Whenever he said he was like in his room playing video games and he was home alone, and like that first stall, the bathroom light would turn on and he would like go turn it off. Oh,
yes.
And then it would turn on and he'd go turn it off. And finally he was like, Gus, stop. And then it stopped. And I don't know how much our dad has listened to our podcast. I do not know how much he has listened. I don't. But I was texting him the other day, and because I sent him the video of the cabinet or something like that. And he was like, do you remember whenever I had the armoire that always opened in Peaster? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, me and Shae actually talked about it. Yeah. And I said, and you told me about like the squeaky board and everything. And he was like, I forgot about that part of it. And he was like, yeah, and Ellie Mae. And I was like, great. Thank you. Thank you for reaffirming my fears.
Bringing it all back. Yeah. Always. It always comes back around.
Full freaking dang circle.
That's crazy. Yeah. I didn't even think about the mirrors being a portal and them face. Yeah. That's freaking creepy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they don't do that anymore in like.
It's definitely not going in my house.
Builds.
I'm looking at building a house and it's definitely. But the thing that I'm doing to myself right now is so toxic. I'm trying to find like layouts of houses that I want, and I work in CAD, so I'm able to just design what I want. And so I was designing and I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, but I really liked how our rooms were laid out at the house in Peaster. Scary as shit, but it was laid out really well.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want to lay the rooms out like our bedrooms. Yeah. Like, so it would be like my future children's or whatever. And so it was a bedroom and then a doorway, and you had your own vanity and you had your own closet door right there, and then another doorway, and it was the shower and like bathtub and then the toilet, and then the same thing. Doorway, vanity, closet, doorway, bedroom.
Yeah.
It was a very nice Jack and Jill. It worked out very well. And I'm like, really love it. But I'm like, am I going to bring the energy of the Peaster house if I design my house like this? Because if I am, I'm not building my house like that.
Yeah, absolutely
It's literally the only reason that I'm like, maybe I don't want to use that layout. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how serious it was there. Oof.
Yeah. Honey even was like, that house, man. When he was texting me, I was like, yep. I said, we didn't realize that we all felt that way, but we all felt that way.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think everyone knew that I felt that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go upstairs by myself. And you wouldn't go with me. And Honey would have to go stand at the bottom of the stairs while I skidded ass upstairs. I burned ass. I was like, what do I need from up there? Because I'm coming right back downstairs.
Yeah, make a plan.
Literally, I was running.
Yeah. It's freaking
Straight
scary up there, man.
Hated that house.
Ugh.
So I found a story, and it's this woman. It's a young woman. She's moving into her first apartment. And so she goes to an estate sale to try and like save some money. And in the attic, she finds this just beautiful, ornate, golden, just beautiful mirror. And she was like, I'm totally going to buy that. And asks the, person in charge of the estate sale. And the estate sale lady was like, yep, you can have it. It's cheap. You shove it out the door. You can have that. So she goes home like a ding ding.
Red flag.
Yeah, well, ding ding, puts it in her bedroom. Hello. Have we learned nothing just now? Puts it in her bedroom, and she gets like kind of some weird vibes. Her dogs aren't coming into the bedroom with her, but she's like, whatever, it's a new place. Like, we're all trying to get comfortable. She already was uncomfortable because it's like her first home to have by herself, just all the things.
Yeah.
And so she goes to sleep that night. She wakes up to like a tapping noise, right? And she's like, okay, it's with like tree knocking on the window. What is it? No, it's coming from the mirror. So she like gets out of bed and slowly is going towards the mirror, and she looks in the mirror and she's like sees like something like flash behind her, and so she's getting closer and closer to the mirror, and then all of a sudden there's just a face in the mirror, and it's clearly not her face, it's opaque. And she said it like was mouthing words, and she was like, oh, okay, hell no. So she ran to turn the bedroom light on, nothing.
It's gone. Yeah.
So she was like, okay, I'm uncomfortable, I'm in a new place, like it's fine. Goes to sleep. She said the whole entire next week it just intensified to the point where she was like actually seeing the woman standing in the mirror. And so she sees this girl, and she's, mouthing in agony for like the week. She keeps seeing it, and the girl keeps getting closer and closer to the glass. And the like last night that she finally is like, I'm almost to my wits end with this mirror, right? Yeah. She sees the lady like puts her hands on the mirror as if she's trying to get out of the mirror. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you know what? We're going to sell this tomorrow.
Smart gal.
Took it to the antique store.
Okay.
New owners buy the mirror. They put it in their hallway end cap. And it's a husband and a wife, and they're like, okay, cool, beautiful mirror. They both kind of get weird vibes from it once it's in their house, but they're like, no big deal. Dogs bark at it, growl at it, the usual dog situation, Cats, me.
And people just ignore it.
Yeah, hell no, dude. Little dog last night wouldn't sleep with me in bed and like kept going into the bathroom, which the bathroom is the part of my room that scares me anyways. Mm-hmm. But she kept going in there, and I was like, well, I guess that gives me comfort because at least there's nothing scary in the bathroom. Yeah. But why the will you not stay in bed with me? Yeah. Like, what is in here?
What's in here with me?
But Biggie would stay by me in bed. So I was like, okay. But when it used to only be me and Little Dog, if Little Dog left the room and would go sleep in the living room, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Do I need to sleep on the couch too? Why?
Why? Tell me.
I'm like, why have you left the space? Because she very much is like an in-bed kind of dog. So I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my God.
I very much rely on my dog's feelings to tell me if something's wrong. But yeah, so this two like couple takes it, whatever. The husband starts to see this lady, and the wife is like, I saw her, I think once, and like in the corner of my eye, like, because they'd like pass it in the hallway, And
we're just like, whatever.
Yeah, she's like, well, I don't know. I just kind of thought I imagined it, like saw it, like, you see something in the corner of your eye, and you're like, that wasn't real.
Oh, all the time. Yeah, you're right.
I see it, and I'm like, oh, nope. Not real.
No.
So that's kind of what the husband was doing. He was like, no. But then it started getting to the point where he was like, okay, I am truly seeing something in this mirror. And the face wasn't in agony like it was with the first woman. It was like mad. And so he was like, this bitch is kind of creepy. We should probably get rid of this mirror. And it was doing the same thing, getting closer and closer to the mirror, like banging on the mirror. And one night, the girl, like in the mirror, she is banging on the mirror, and he's like, okay, like this is it. Because she bangs on it, and it shattered. It cracks the mirror. It didn't shatter. It cracks the mirror as if she's able to get out. And he was like, no, we're going to take it. So they put it in the backseat of this car. They're going to get rid of it. They're going to go destroy it. Yeah. They're like, we're destroying this mirror. We're not just like giving it away. We're destroying this mirror. And whenever they take it out of the car, they go to this field, hammer in tow. The mirror no longer has a crack in it. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? It like healed itself, right? Mm-hmm. No, either way. So it's laying on the ground. They're standing over it, about to shatter it. and they see the girl standing like they see her head behind them, and it's giving them like a really creepy like, you know,
oh, you about to let me out?
A really creepy smile, like
do it
ear to ear, yeah. Which they're clearly not fucking smart because you caught on
Yeah.
already. I'm like, you caught on already. I was like, hell yeah, they're gonna let her, like they're gonna let this bitch out, and they're thinking, hell yeah, we're gonna break
Kill
it
her.
and she's done.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, they shatter that mirror. Whatever pieces are like, haha, we've done our work, we're good. And then they get in the car and they hear, and they turn around in the back seat and she says, thank you, and then disappears.
No.
Yeah.
No.
At first I was like, dang, it'd be really scary if they saw in the rearview mirror. And then I was like, no, because then she'd be trapped in the car mirror.
In the car mirror. Yeah,
no.
no.
Her spirit is free.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Yeah. So they actually never heard the tapping. They heard her like
banging on it.
So the tapping rounded back to the first story.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which there's actually Myrtle's Plantation. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's a pretty haunted location. Like a lot of ghost shows go there, and there's a haunted mirror there. A lot of people like have pictures of creepy things in that mirror. I didn't really do the research on that one because I was like, nah, I want some like scary shit from like other places. But there's a mirror there, and I think it's that movie like Oculus or something like that, and it's about a haunted mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I'd heard a different haunted mirror story, and I could not find it, and I wanted it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this couple, they'd brought the mirror into their house, and the wife started kind of getting weird, but then the husband would find her just staring at the mirror, and eventually she like went crazy and like tried to kill him, and like they shattered the mirror, and then she turned back to normal. But I'm like, I couldn't find it. I wanted it so bad.
That's still freaky.
Yeah. So my next story is kind of plays along on that. So it's this young girl. She goes and visits her friend's house, and they have a mirror that's kind of off the living room, so you can sit on the couch and see it or whatever. And they said as her visit went on, like she would like walk by the mirror, and they would see her. They would kind of catch her like looking at like it or herself, like just looking into the mirror pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, whatever, it's a mirror, you know, didn't think anything of it. And then they would be sitting on the couch, like hanging out, and she would like, they'd find her like spacing out at the mirror, like staring at it for like if you saw me right now space out at the mirror, you'd be like, what in the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And so they were just like getting that, like, what is going on? Why is she doing that? And then she got to like this catatonic state, and they were like, okay, y'all need to come get your daughter, because
come get your girl,
because she's literally just standing at the mirror.
She's possessed.
She's literally standing at the mirror, staring at it, and won't leave the mirror. Like, will not, like, very close to the mirror, staring at it. And they're like, okay, y'all need to come get her. And they said like they took her home, and she was stayed in that state, like catatonic. And so they took the daughter. That family took the daughter to like a local like witchcraft, you know, little place like that. And they're like, hey, can someone tell me what the f is up with this girl? Like something is wrong. And they're like, she doesn't have a soul. Where's she been lately? And they're like, well, she just had this thing with this mirror. And they're like, the mirror took her soul. There's nothing you can do about it. She's going to be like this forever. She can't get her soul back.
What?
Like once it's in that realm, you can't get it back. And whatever. So then this family that had the mirror moved the mirror to the basement because they're like, this is creepy. Something's wrong with this mirror. And at this point, like at this rate, they're seeing something's a little strange. So they move it to the basement, and for whatever reason, a different time in the story, the dad is down in the basement and the mirror shatters and falls, and that little girl's family calls and is like, our daughter just perished. So when the mirror shattered,
it killed her
died.
soul.
Yeah.
Could you imagine somebody calling you and be like, my daughter just perished?
Yeah, and you're like, so did the mirror. Yeah.
Such a strange choice of words.
Perished, yeah. Yeah. So that's creepy.
That's super creepy. And the more that we keep talking about this, I just realized that I have an old antique mirror that I belonged to a great grandmother.
Yeah.
That's in my guest room closet.
It's gonna
that
stay
just
in the
lives in there.
closet. Keep that bitch in there.
Yeah, because now I'm scared to bring it out.
Well, I really want a gold-plated antique mirror, but I'm like, I'm going to buy a new one that looks gold-plated.
Yeah, that looks old.
Yeah. Because like I said, I have that vanity, and that mirror is old. It's an old-ass mirror. You can see where the specks of it are like chunked out because of, and it's it is a heavy-duty mirror, so I know how old it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hate that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
The old mirror that I had, I used to hang in the barn house, and I never really had any issues with it, but it's been in a closet for a while.
Yeah.
But it's old.
That's something. So this episode has made me want to look into, like, not me do it physically, not me, but I want to research scrying more, because a lot of the ghost shows I do, they like do scrying things. And one of them that I watched, they all set up at like a table, and each person took a minute or two staring into the mirror and just staring. And then they would come back and they'd write what they saw without telling everyone what they saw to see if they all saw the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, they all saw the same thing. And it was like a woman with big eyes, or they'd say they saw they felt like their face was no longer like their face. Like they say, if you look in the mirror long enough, like you no longer feel like yourself.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the same thing as when you say the word like purple, whatever. And then you're like,
that's not a real word.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of the same concept.
I'm never going to look into a mirror ever again.
Yeah. And that's, have you ever heard the thing where it's like, you look at yourself in the mirror, but you're never truly seeing what someone else sees of you?
Yes.
That scares the shit out of me.
It doesn't
also.
make sense to me.
No, I'm like, how am I not seeing exactly what you
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So those are really all the stories I had. We just said the word 66 because we're looking in this, and I'm going to have to cut clips so you understand what's going on.
Stop. What the hell? Oh my God. I hate it here. So we're looking for the mirror page in the book, gazing into the future, seeing if it's in here. And she turns to the page and there's a fucking card in the book. It's a Hebrews. Quote's not the right word. Scripture, right? Is that what the right word? Anyway, at the top of it says, "You are never alone." And it was in the book.
Any hoosers, we didn't find anything really. It's a modern day thing. So it says there was a scrying part, but it was about a crystal ball and your TV screen.
Which is a reflective surface.
Yeah, which I'm not interested in. But it said that she was daydreaming and looked at her TV screen and like saw like colors and things that are not usually there. And then that's where it said colors are associated when you scry. So like it said like what? Green is healthy.
Happiness.
And then
red is anger.
Orange was anger. Red was danger.
Oh.
Yeah. White was protection.
Protection. Yeah.
And then gray or black is negative energy.
Duh.
Yeah. Almost like a mood ring.
Yeah. Amen.
I remember those things. But yeah, so this part was creepy. I'm like, out of the whole book, the page I'm looking for, you were not alone. And I'm like, cool, because what did I say earlier? I said something about saying you're never alone.
You literally said that.
I was telling you a story. Before we recorded, I was telling her a story that I was telling a guy last night, or an older man. That sounds wrong. My husband's going to listen to this and be like, you were with guys. Because my husband's out of town. I went to my sister's house. She was having friends over. And I was talking to... they had a son there, like one of the friends, the couples I was there had their son there. And I was like, oh, well, next time I'll bring my nephew because y'all are the same age. You can hang out. And I was like, well, he was supposed to take the trash out. So when I get home, I'll see if he took the trash out or not.
Yeah.
And he was the like younger man that I was talking to. He was like, I don't take the trash out at nighttime. I believe in ghosts and stuff. And I was like, you wouldn't believe that I have a podcast where I talk about ghost stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing a Bloody Mary episode tomorrow. And then he was telling me that he was letting his dog out the other day. And he thought he heard his little sister talking to him. And then he went in her room and she was asleep still. And he was saying it and his dad was right there. And his dad was like, well, who'd you think it was? And then he was like, you're never alone. You are never alone.
That is so freaky. I've clearly never looked in that book before.
Yeah. Well,
we can just keep this here. This could be part of our.
What is the
scripture?
Yeah.
Is Hebrews 13:5. God has said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you.
Okay. Well, at least we can turn it positive, right?
Yeah. We're just going to leave that in here.
He's not going to abandon us.
For good vibes.
Yeah, that's our positive energy source right now.
Thank you, person from the Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah. Whoever did that, you're a blessing. Because what in the shit. But yeah, I think that's all I got. I didn't really do a whole lot of stories, but.
No, I loved the research and the stories were scary. I love that.
If I see anything in my mirror, I'm shattering it. I don't care about 7 years of bad luck. Ain't nothing looking at me.
If you shatter it, it's going to come out.
Well, at least it can get out and get away from me.
I don't know if it will.
Just throw holy water on my mirror.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Oh, God. No. All right. Well, I really enjoyed that. I never knew the lore of Bloody Mary.
I didn't know it was that intense. I just thought it was a scary girl.
Yeah.
Just thought it was a creepy bitch.
All my life have known of Bloody Mary, but never knew.
It's not something I feel like when I told Mama I was doing Bloody Mary, she was like, that's kind of boring. And I was like, it's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
So
just think about it a little longer.
I was like, stay in your lane. Which mom really likes, like the murder stuff. She likes your episodes more because she's all about murder. Like that's normally what she listens to. And she's like, see, Shae listens to My Favorite Murder because she keeps telling me to listen to that. And I'm like,
it's so good.
But I really don't like the podcasts that I do listen to and watch. They're on YouTube also. And I like watch them like I watch us.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, let's be real. This is my favorite podcast. So.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening.
Yes.
Cover your mirrors. Don't look at yourself too long in the mirror. I know you're pretty. It's okay.
It's okay.
Just move on. Don't put a mirror facing your bed and everything will be fine.
Yeah. And if you have any creepy mirror stories, will you send them to us? Because I want more.
I know there's some out there.
Oh, yeah. I read a ton, but they were all very similar. Like everyone seems to have these same experiences with mirrors. And I'm like, this is so terrifying.
It's real.
Because it's so many people with the same experience. But definitely send them our way because I think that is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have any other ghost stories that you want to share, feel free. If you have any recommendations on things you want covered, also feel free. You can send any of these things to any of our social medias. You can comment them or you can email us at sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com and like and subscribe, do all the good things, share us. I am like not so subtle on my plug.
Amen.
Anywhere I'm at, I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast. Like last
Me
night
too.
I was literally with my niece who was 11 and I was like, yeah, I have a podcast. Like her friends were, but we were talking about something and Ella was like, hey, show her this. And so I did. And she's like, what's this for? And I was like, my podcast with my sister. And she like subscribed to us. I was like, well, let your parents know first because they might want to monitor which one you watch because I don't let
suitable for all audiences.
I don't let Ella watch all of them. I give her the rundown and like sleep paralysis. I gave her the rundown.
Yeah.
But I was like, do not watch
don't listen to it. Yeah, shameless plug anywhere. If I can put it in any conversation, I'm sprinkling it in, baby.
Yeah, she told me earlier that because she's a nurse and she works in a hospital, and she said there's a guy that at her work is like, are you the girl from the podcast? And I love that. I want someone to do that to me.
Shout out, Brian.
I want that
you
to
real
happen.
one.
I'm like, please do that to me. I think that's great.
Yeah, I really didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my God, yeah.
And I'm seeing more and more people from like high school watching our stuff, and I'm like, this is weird.
Welcome to the weirdness.
Yeah, it's so strange though. I'm like, this is so strange.
Well,
yeah,
we are the Sisters of the Strange. Hello.
Hello, super freaking fitting. Hello to everyone from Weatherford High School.
Oh, yeah. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
Not me.
No,
not me.
I can't believe that there's a Spitfire conversation one day where you were like, what should we do together? What should we do? And I was like, well, I've always wanted to do a podcast. And you said, okay. And within a week we were recording.
We were doing it. And we're doing it.
You said, okay. And I was like, okay, I'll order everything. And I got on YouTube and I said, what do I need? And I watched other people's video on like what they use and stuff. And I bought it and I was like, let's do it. Let's go.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Killing it.
It's honestly so much fun.
Chilling. Killing.
Like a villain.
Yeah.
That was very much what Honey would have said. Chilling like a villain. But,
all right. Well,
thanks
for listening, guys. Leave a, is there a mirror emoji?
Oh, hell.
A blood, there's a blood emoji. A blood and a princess. You know what? Use your imagination.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Do with that what you will. I don't think we last episode gave them an emoji, but
no, we didn't, and I got scalded for it by Andrea.
Yeah, she still commented a ghost.
She was like, you didn't tell me what emoji to leave. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, we were scared.
Yeah.
We ran.
We had to go.
We literally were like, well, that's it.
Cut.
Yeah. Okay, well. Bye.
Goodbye.